Hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. So, you guys, today, hey Angel, I just got back and I'm going to do this live stream, so I'm excited. Okay, guys, so today we're going to start out in Chapter 2 of the Narcotics Anonymous Basic Text. Chapter 2 is titled, What is the Narcotics Anonymous Program? Chapter 2, What is the Narcotics Anonymous Program? Oh. You guys, we went to eat at this gourmet pizza place. It was so damn good. It's called Pizza Cafe. I mean, this was so delicious. I had the Mediterranean pizza, which has olive oil, feta cheese, sun-dried tomatoes, artichokes, just a bunch of vegetables. And it was so delicious. I poured hot peppers all over it and dipped it in ranch, and it was so good. That was my treat for Father's Day. So, what is the Narcotics Anonymous program? Let's see how many pages we got to read. Okay, not much at all, you guys. Not much at all. Okay, so I guess we'll wait for a minute. We got 2 people in here, so we are going to start the live stream at 5 minutes. So we've been on here for 1:56. So, what's up, guys? I loved our conversation today. We had a really good chat. Look at my card from Sonia. Sonia, I love this card. I keep it in my thing as a book mark. Keep it in my book as a bookmark. Ladies, we have a new patron. Welcome, Marissa, to the Patreon family. Your sisters in recovery are as follows: Krissy, Annie, Sonia, Maria, Hannah, Layla, and Amber. Those are your sisters in recovery. So what I'm going to do right now, while we're here, is go into my description box and put Marissa's name, because she is one of my new patrons. And if you guys didn't know, I have all my patrons' names listed in the description box of my videos, because I want you guys to know how grateful I am to have you in my life. So, save. Added you, Marissa. Hey, Ian. Oh, Krissy. I just got on a tangent talking about my dad earlier, and we had a 2-hour stream. Professor, I did my internship to say Happy Father's Day. I'm kind of pissed because he got fired. Oh, no. I wonder what happened, girl. That's never good. Ooh, excuse me. Okay. So we got a new patron. Now what else would I want to tell you guys? You guys to know tomorrow is Monday, so I'm going to be chilling. And then Tuesday we'll do our big book study. But I'm going to tell you this right now. I think I almost have it figured out on my laptop, you guys. I was able to get Streamlabs to download. I know you guys seen me earlier, going live, and you couldn't see. It was just a black screen. I was going live from my laptop. I just couldn't get it set up. So I called my friend Jaclyn, and she said I need to set the scene on Streamlabs, and that will make it to where my video will show. I'm so sorry, Angel. You know what? Sometimes, anything could have happened. You know how it is when you're, or I don't know if you know how it is, but a lot of times things change, rules change, or, maybe he show up to work, or he got sick, or and didn't feel like dealing with it, So, okay, I said I would start at 5 minutes in, so it's 5 minutes in. Are y'all ready? All right, here we go. Chapter 2. What is the Narcotics Anonymous program? NA is a non-profit fellowship or society of men and women for whom drugs had become a major problem. We are recovering addicts who meet regularly to help each other stay clean. This is a program of complete abstinence from all drugs. There is only one requirement for membership: the desire to stop using. We suggest that you keep an open mind and give yourself a break. Hey, Brian. Our program is a set of principles written so simply that we can follow them in our daily lives. The most important thing about them is that they work. Okay, so I want to talk about that first, the first paragraph. Okay, so this is why I work in an AA program, you guys, because when I read this, what this tells me is AA is a non-profit fellowship. So is NA is, and so is AA. So that's something they have in common, of men and women whose drugs had become a major problem. Okay, and in AA, it's alcohol had become a major problem. We are recovering addicts who meet regularly to help each other stay clean. So it's a we thing, helping each other stay clean. I can dig that, right? This is a program of complete abstinence. Complete abstinence. Okay, so the reason I underline that is because when I am, hey, David, what's up, buddy? From all drugs. There is only, so that says that the program is a program of complete abstinence, all right? AA also says that abstinence is the key, right? They both say that abstinence is the way. But then they go on to say, abstinence. Then they go on to say, there is only one requirement for membership: the desire to stop using. So just because you're on maintenance medication, or just you're, taking naltrexone for, alcohol abuse or whatever it may be, you can still be a member of AA or NA, right? Because the only desire to become a member in AA or NA, the only desire for membership is the only fee for membership is a desire to stop drinking or stop using. So that's the plus side of it, right? So I always make sure that I recognize that it doesn't matter, if Tom, Dick, Harry, John, Larry, Stephanie, Shauna, Jan, whoever has something to say about me being on medically assisted treatment. The only desire for membership, why do I keep on saying the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop using, okay? So nobody can say, hey, you can't be a member here. So here we go. We suggest that you keep an open mind, and give yourself a break. Take it easy. Our program is a set of principles written so simply that we can follow them in our daily lives. The most important thing about them is that they work. There are no strings attached to NA. We are not affiliated with any other organizations. We have no initiation fees or dues, no pledges to sign, no promises to make to anyone. We are not connected with any political, religious, or law enforcement groups, and are under no surveillance at any time. Anyone may join us, regardless of age, race, sexual identity, creed, religion, or lack thereof. We are not interested in what or how much you used or your connections were, what you have done in the past, how much or how little you have, but only in what you want to do about your problem and how we can help. Okay, let's read that sentence right there. We are not interested in what or how much you used, or who your connections were, what you have done in the past, how much or how little you have, but only in what you want to do about your problem and how we can help. The newcomer is the most important person at any meeting. because we can only keep what we have by giving it away. We have learned from our group experience that those who keep coming to our meetings regularly stay clean. Okay. And right here, you know how I'm always telling you guys about giving back is what helps me stay sober. This is what I'm talking about. Because we can only keep what we have by giving it away. That's what they're talking about. Helping others. That's how you stay sober. And that's one of the main, like ways that helps me stay on track is by giving back to others. Hey, Cindy. Narcotics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who are learning to live without drugs. I like that. I like that it says we are learning to live without drugs. So you know what that means? That means that it doesn't matter how long it takes me to get to that point. I'm learning how to live without drugs. We are a non-profit society and have no dues or fees of any kind. Each of us has paid the price of membership. We have paid for the right to recover with our pain. Surviving against all odds, we are addicts who meet regularly. We respond to honest sharing and listen to the stories of our members for the message of recovery. We realize that there is hope for us at last. We make use of the tools that have worked for other recovering addicts who have learned in NA to live without drugs. The 12 steps are positive tools that make our recovery possible. Our primary purpose is to stay clean and to carry the message to the addict who still suffers. So right there it tells us that the primary purpose is to stay clean and to carry the message to other addicts who are still struggling. We are united by our common problem of addiction. It says the same thing in the Alcoholics Anonymous book. Remember, you guys? It talks about how we are united through our common struggle, and that we are like the passengers on a great ship liner. We are on there, and when it sinks, we all get together in camaraderie and help each other, right? By meeting, talking, and helping other addicts, we are able to stay clean. So let's underline by meeting, talking, and helping other addicts. We are able to stay clean. The newcomer is the most important person at any meeting because we can only keep what we have by giving it away. So that says that's the second time it said that. Wow. Must be important, huh, guys? Narcotics Anonymous has many years of experience with literally hundreds of thousands of addicts. This firsthand experience in all phases of illness and recovery is of unparalleled therapeutic value. Okay, so that's why when the therapeutic value of one illness and recovery is of unparalleled therapeutic value. We are here to share freely with any addict who wants to recover. So anybody, it doesn't matter what's going on. Oh, hold on, guys. Y'all still there? Okay. So, we are here to share freely with any addict who wants to recover. Any addict, you guys. It doesn't say only the addicts that are abstinent, only the addicts that are not on Suboxone or methadone. It says they're here to share with anyone who wants to recover. Our message of recovery is based on our experience. So, experience. Before coming to the fellowship, we exhausted ourselves by trying to use successfully and wondering what was wrong with us. Listen to me. I know you guys know. So, it says, before coming to the fellowship, we exhausted ourselves by trying to use successfully. Trying to use, just one more time, or if I don't take Xanax and I only take Hydros, I won't lose my job and I'll be able to pay my bills. Or if I only snort cocaine instead of shoot it. How many of y'all have been there where you're like kind of bargaining with the devil? You're like, listen, man, I know I can't do it. I know I can't shoot up drugs because when I shoot up, it just takes me over the edge, right? But so I'll just snort them from now on. You know, come on, let me have some fun. I'll just snort. I won't shoot. Or I'll just smoke. It's like every way I do it, it doesn't matter. But that's what we would do. We would exhaust ourselves trying to find the magic combination. That's what I call it, the magic combination. After coming to NA, we found ourselves among a very special group of people who have suffered like us and found recovery. In their experiences freely shared, we found hope for ourselves. Hope. Hang on, pain ends. If the program worked for them, it could work for us. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop using. There it is again, you guys. Underline that. Again, they said it again. We have seen the program work for any addict. Okay? Any addict who honestly and sincerely wants to stop. We don't have to be clean when we get here. Right there. Underline that. We don't have to be clean when we get here. But after the first meeting, we suggest that newcomers keep coming back and come back clean. But after the first meeting, we suggest that newcomers keep coming back. We don't have to wait for an overdose or a jail sentence to get help from NA. Addiction is not a hopeless condition from which there is no recovery. So there is you can recover from the disease of addiction. You are not going to be hopeless if you want to change, right? But when we're in our active addiction, we are hopeless. When we're not wanting to change and we're not putting any effort, right, into trying to do different, then it's like just repeating the same thing over and over and over again. We meet addicts like ourselves who are clean. That's whenever, I know for me, when I see someone else who has been through the same kind of stuff I've been through in my active addiction, and then they say, I've got 20 years clean. I'm just like her opiate fix over on his channel. If you guys aren't subscribed to Leonard, you need to go check him out. He's got 21 years sober from hardcore heroin addiction, right? And he is living the dream over there now. He's got an amazing life. He helps other addicts. He's living in Chicago, driving a nice ride and making videos and helping other people, And that's what he is doing. And he's able to do that, you guys, because he has wanted to change and he's wanted to do different. So whenever I started coming around, because I didn't think I could get sober. I didn't think that anybody who had a drug problem like me, because you guys know how it is. I thought that my problem was like so much worse than everybody else's. But then I started meeting people like you guys who had done the same crazy stuff I had done, who had been strung out just like I was strung out, who had been homeless, who had shot up in every part of their body known to man. And you guys were like, hey, I'm staying clean. And I was like, what? At first it's like, how are you doing it? But what I learned very quickly through the program is that I can watch and I can see everybody doing what they're doing all day long. But until I get in and I start like really taking action and taking suggestions and following directions, then I'm just sitting there watching, waiting for a fucking miracle to happen, right? And that's the thing with recovery, is you can't just get it on you and it sink into your skin and then you're like, woohoo, I'm recovered, right? You have to get in there and put some blood, sweat, and tears into it. A lot of tears, okay? I have probably cried for the last 3 years. Oh, I do too, with a cherry too. I have cried so much in the last 3 years, you guys, because I'm processing through all these shameful memories that I have and things that I've done for so long. I think I'm just so bad off, right? But I'm telling you, the whole crying is like a healing process for me, you know? I still compare it's a problem. When I found out he never shot it, I thought, well, he doesn't really know what a true addict is. I totally understand what you're saying, Krissy, and that's something that I have really, like, what has happened for me is that I meet more and more people who maybe they didn't shoot dope, but they smoked or snorted it, and they have been just as hard out as I was. And so that's what's helped me to see that addiction, it affects different people in different ways. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what God has done for me, though. God has placed people in my path who have been strung out on smoking the pipe, and who have been so strung out just like I was on the needle, you know, and that has helped me to see that, you know, just because somebody didn't shoot up doesn't mean that they don't, you know, have a bad addiction, right? Because I used to do the same thing. I used to think, well, they can't relate to me. They don't understand, right? But you can understand, because wanting to smoke dope and wanting to shoot dope to me are like one and the same, you know? I have seen people fiend out for the pipe just as bad as I have fiend out for the rig, you know? Hey, Nikki. Oh, well, that's because they're shallow veins and they're right up there on the surface, just like our hands are. Anyway, we meet addicts like ourselves who are clean. We watch, listen, and realize that they have found a way to live and enjoy life without drugs. So I follow this girl, you guys. She's got a channel. Her channel's called Joy Jaclyn. I shared her on my community tab. And she is a recovering, I think, crack addict. And she made a video the other day talking about how come other people can do it and she can't. And she was referring to smoking pot and I think drinking alcohol. And she's an addict. And I commented underneath her video, and I was trying to explain to her that, you know, she can drink and smoke pot if she wants to, right? But the thing about it is that when we find recovery, I think what will happen to you guys is that we want to enjoy and live, we learn to enjoy and live life without drugs, right? So I have no offense against anybody who smokes pot or drinks alcohol. But for me, I'm trying to learn my life to live without drugs. Do you understand what I'm saying? And for me, whenever I am wanting to relax or kick my feet up after a long day of work, I've had to learn that reaching for a beer or reaching for a joint for me is just a way that I'm using drugs to cope with the way I'm feeling. Do you understand what I'm saying? And for me, I'm trying to learn how to not do that. Do you understand? Because listen, me and Neil were just talking about it tonight. We went to go get pizza from this really nice place up the street. And I was talking to him because I saw one of the ladies with a glass of wine. And I thought, oh, wow, like, could I have a glass of wine? Y'all know we were just talking about it, right? Could I have a glass of wine and be okay? You know, and I know I could be okay the first time. But here's the thing, you guys. I could have that glass of wine and probably make it fine tonight and come home and go to sleep. But then what happens is, and we were talking about this earlier, is that glass of wine lowers my inhibitions, my goals, the things I have that I'm trying to succeed in life, right? And it gives my addict brain permission. Okay, the minute that alcohol goes into my body, into my bloodstream, my brain says, okay, and it says, oh, wow. So I could have just one glass of wine and I'm chilling, right? Exactly. That's what would happen to me. And that's why I say, no, I can't drink alcohol. I can't smoke a doobie, y'all. Because when I smoke a doobie, it's going to get me all loosey-goosey, right? And it's going to make me want to go get fucked up. When I drink alcohol, I always want to sober up with meth or cocaine, right? So when I give myself that permission to take that substance into my body to change the way I feel, then that's when I start slipping. All right. You might be saying, well, Nicole, you're on medically assisted treatment. How do you take Suboxone into your body and not want to go out and get high? Let me share that with you. I have been prescribed Suboxone for so long, 3.5 years now, that when Suboxone goes into my body, it's already on my receptors and it stays on there. It never leaves. You know what I mean? And so when I take my medication, there's no like change in euphoria or change in the way I feel. So it doesn't sit. I don't know how to explain it any other way, is that it's not setting that craving off inside of me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not making me feel fucked up. It's not, we're in page 11. It's not making me feel fucked up. Like I don't feel any feeling. Now, if I was taking something that constantly changed the way I feel every day, like if I woke up in the morning, I'm going to use Xanax as an example. I used to have really bad anxiety, and so I would prescribe Xanax. If I was still prescribed Xanax, you guys, in my recovery right now, and I woke up every morning and I had to take my Xanax, or I had to take my Xanax when a panic attack came on. You know that feeling that you take when you first get a Xanax in your system and you're like, that feeling. That shit sets that off inside of me. And so I can't, that's why I think that I do okay with Suboxone, because it doesn't like give me a high or anything. But for some reason, I just respond okay to that, Now, I've tried other medications that when I take them, I just want to take more, right? And then I've also learned over these couple of years that taking more Suboxone doesn't do anything. It's a total waste. So luckily, Suboxone is made to go into your system. It doesn't like change that feeling or kick anything off inside of me. And I truly believe that's because it has such a long half-life, right? I know. I would think it would be, Krissy, because it's like that feeling is when you take a benzo, it's like right there again. And so I can understand why Narcotics Anonymous says, you need to, that abstinence is what the model that they work through. But I do believe that there is a spot for people like us who are on medically assisted treatment. And that's why I'm trying to find like this happy medium where we fit and we can learn from this book and the Alcoholics Anonymous book. Because I believe it with all my heart, you guys, that Suboxone, Subutex, those medications are different. I really think that when you take them regularly and you have that in your system, it's just different. And I don't know. I know that there's an opiate going to my receptors. I know that. I'm not crazy. But what I'm saying is I'm not intoxicated. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not fucking feeling high. I'm not loaded. And so I want to learn to live my life without it. For sure. And that's what I'm working really hard on doing. That's why I'm tapering low and slow. And that's why I'm going to document every taper that I go down, you guys. Okay? Yeah. And so, David, I forgot to tell you. I don't know if I told you in the comment section. I started Suboxone in 2015, and I've just gotten to a point where I went from 12 milligrams down to 8 milligrams, and then in August, I'm going down more with my doctor. And so it's just a gradual, slow taper, you guys. And I'm telling you, but I had to build a support system. I had to, really go slow, you guys, to learn how to live not seeking that feeling anymore, not trying to fill myself up with some kind of substance to get high. And that has been hard for me, because what is when I read this book, my brain goes to, well, you're still taking Suboxone, Nicole, right? But then I'm like, no, Nicole, think about all the hard work you've done. You were a methamphetamine addict, a cocaine addict. Like, I shot meth and roxycodone every day, okay? Every day. I was so into stimulants, you guys. And so the fact that I have learned to live my life not reaching for those stimulants, it shows me that something is working, right? I am changing. I am doing better, right? And I was addicted to benzos bad. Like it was really bad to the point where benzos and then I would get arrested for stealing because I would get benzo brain, you guys, and I would go and I would just steal from stores. And so I know that I'm doing the work. The hard thing that I've come to deal with lately is that what's going to happen when I get completely off Suboxone? Am I going to be so, am I going to be craving it so much that like I try to go back on it? And I don't know. But I promise you guys that when I taper completely off, I will be 100% honest with you. And I will tell y'all if I'm craving or not. Okay? Hey, Ariana. Oh, we've all been there. We've all been there. I promise. I was an active addict for about 12 years. So here we go. I'm going to read this other part. So we don't have to settle for the limitations of the past. We examine and re-examine our old ideas. We can constantly improve our old ideas or replace them with new ones. We are men and women who have discovered and admitted that we are powerless over our addiction. Powerless over our addiction. When we use, we lose. Ooh, I like that. Can't rush it. You need the tools and other coping skills for the days you feel down. Exactly. Use, we lose. I like that. When we discovered that we could not live with or without drugs, we sought help through NA rather than prolonging our suffering. The program works a miracle in our lives. We become different people. So freaking true. I cannot tell you guys how different I have become just from July 2015 to today. My life used to revolve around drugs and alcohol, okay? My life used to revolve around getting them, doing them, and hustling, okay? Lying and manipulating, right? Now, my life revolves around recovery and working on my sobriety and coming here and being with you guys and taking care of my son and my husband. It's a total change, y'all. I cannot even explain it to you. I never thought that I would be able to be a mom or a wife or help other people. Never. Never. Working the steps and maintaining abstinence gives us a daily reprieve from our self-imposed life sentence. We become free to live. We want our place of recovery to be a safe place, free from outside influences. For the protection of the fellowship, we insist that no drugs or paraphernalia be brought into any meeting. We feel totally free to express ourselves within the fellowship because law enforcement agencies are not involved. You guys, do you know what I've been hearing about some places down in Florida? That cops are going into these meetings and like trying to like bust dealers and stuff. Have y'all ever heard that? Our meetings have an atmosphere of empathy. In accordance with the principles of recovery, we try not to judge. Do you hear that? Do not judge, stereotype, or moralize each other. We are not recruited and membership does not cost anything. NA does not provide counseling or social services. Our meetings are a process of identification, hope, and sharing. The heart of NA beats when two addicts share their recovery. I like that. What we do becomes real for us when we share it. This happens on a larger scale in our regular meetings. A meeting happens when two or more addicts gather to help each other stay clean. At the beginning of the meeting, we read NA literature that is available to anyone. Some meetings have speakers, topics, discussion, or both. Closed meetings, and this is kind of teaching you guys, okay? Closed meetings are for addicts or those who think they might have a drug problem. Open meetings welcome anyone wishing to experience our fellowship. The atmosphere of recovery is protected by our 12 traditions. We are fully self-supporting through voluntary contributions from our members. Regardless of where the meeting takes place, we remain unaffiliated. Meetings provide a place to be with fellow addicts. All we need are 2 addicts caring and sharing to make a meeting. We let new ideas flow into us. We ask questions. We share what we have learned about living without drugs. Though the principles of the 12 steps may seem strange to us at first, the most important thing about them is that they work. Hey Sandra, our program is a way of life. We learn the value of spiritual principles such as surrender, humility, and service. From reading the NA literature, going to meetings, and working the steps. Reading the NA literature, going to meetings, and working the steps. We find that our lives steadily improve if we maintain abstinence from mind-altering, mood-changing chemicals and work the 12 steps to sustain our recovery. Living this program gives us a relationship with a power greater than ourselves, corrects defects, and leads us to help others. Where there has been wrong, the program teaches us the spirit of forgiveness. Many books have been written about the nature of addiction. This book concerns itself with the nature of recovery. If you are an addict and have found this book, please give yourself a break and read it. All right, you guys, that's it. That's the reading for today. That was a simple one because it's just explaining to you guys what NA is, okay? And who belongs there, which is any person who may think they have a problem with drugs, right? And that it, you know, and it breaks it down and tells you right there what the program is about. Surrender, humility, and service, right? It also tells you how you can stay sober, and it says it right here. Reading the NA literature, going to meetings, and working the steps, right? Finding a power, and that will direct you into finding a power greater than yourself, right? And the only requirement is a desire to stop using. So, yeah, that's simple, right? That means any person who thinks, hey, I might have a problem and I need a little bit of help can go to a meeting, okay? I feel when taken as prescribed every day, subs are not mind or mood altering. I totally agree. That's great, mate. A lot of folk don't forget that large amounts of alcohol daily will polish you off faster than heroin. Oh, I know that's right, Lee. So Lee says at times she feels really determined, and at other times she feels totally beat. You guys, I think that's just the normal, like, human, how we just are, right? You know, not every day is going to be a good day. And I'm telling you this, Lee, once you get yourself, you've got to get stable, girl. That's why you're struggling, because you're bouncing back and forth. You know what I'm saying? You need to get some stability, sister. And once you get stable, then you'll be able to work on healing and changing your life, right? Krissy, tell her. Krissy's working on it. She's trying to get herself stable too. I bet it will. Alcohol will eat your insides. I always thought H preserved you. Right. And that's what it is. It's like when you're going, it's really difficult, you guys, because we are not young. Remember, we were talking about this the other day, Lee. We're not spring chickens anymore, sister. And so back in the day, I could go for a week high, right? Wouldn't faze me. But once I got older, after I had my son, when I would do that, you guys, it would rip me to shreds. I would be hallucinating. I would be sick in the bed. I mean, it was just hard. And that's what it is. It's like, so here's the thing, you guys. When you're actively using, right, drugs or alcohol, and then you stop, it's like a lot of the times we don't give ourselves any amount of time to heal, right? Yeah, I will. Pages 9 and 10. We don't give ourselves any time to heal. We just get off drugs, and then 2 days later, we're like, well, I'm not feeling better. What's going on here? I feel like shit. Well, honey, you've been on drugs for 15 years. Giving yourself 2 days. Remember, we talked about this the other day. Think about it. When you think about, okay, I've been in active addiction for 13 years, You are not going to get better overnight. It takes time. You are not going to heal in one day. It literally takes time, you guys. But I promise you that each day that you stay sober, it will get better. I promise. I promise. Okay, so we'll go over this. Okay, I'm going to read to you what I outlined. Okay, Candy? So I said, NA is a nonprofit fellowship or society of men and women for whom drugs have become a major problem. Whom? I put drugs and major problem. We are recovering addicts who meet regularly to help each other do what? Stay clean. This is a program of complete abstinence from all drugs. There is only one requirement for membership, the desire to stop using. We suggest that you keep an open mind. And then I go down here to, we are not connected with any political, religious, or law enforcement groups and are under no surveillance. Anyone may join us, regardless of age, sexual identity, creed, religion, or lack of religion. We are not interested in what or how much you used or who your connections were. Because, and this is why I think they say that right here. What you have done in the past or how much or how little you have. But only in that what you want to do about your problem and how we can help. Because I can imagine that if we were just talking about our war stories and how we were like gangsters out in our addiction and we sold all the heroin and smoked all the crack and had all this money and was waving our money fans, right? Then the whole meeting would just turn into a huge war story meeting, right? And so that's why they say that the meetings are recovery focused, not addiction focused. Because we all know what it was like out there in our addiction, right? Y'all know there's a time and a place for the story times. And that's like when I come on here, if I have a story time, it's going to say story time, active addiction story time, or I'll have it in a playlist for you guys, story times, you know? But we could all sit here and tell active addiction story times all day long. But, you know, we're not achieving any recovery when we're talking about using. You know, of course, it's therapeutic, I feel like, to share what we've been through, especially when we're like for me, when I talk about my son being taken, it's a healing process for me sharing that with you guys and talking about it, right? It's very, very healing for me. But I know they're funny, aren't they? But I can laugh at my past, you guys. I can laugh at it now because I remember how crazy I was back then. And I'm so grateful that I'm not like that anymore. Because when I was in active addiction, I was ruthless. I didn't care what I had to take, how I had to get it. You know? It didn't matter. I'm not that person today. Today, I want to give back and I want to help other people. That's what fuels me today. That's what fuels my recovery. I'm addicted to helping others, and that's my passion, right? Is giving back to others. Okay. The newcomer is the most important person at any meeting because we can only keep what we have by giving it away. Narcotics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who are learning to live without drugs. So we're learning to live without drugs, you guys. A lot of us come into the rooms and we're still loaded out of our mind, right? We're still struggling, staying sober. That's why they made these programs, because it's hard to just stop on your own, right? You need support. Hey, man, thanks a lot. It's pride and ego is what tells us that we have to recover alone. Did you know that? Did you know that for 10 years, I told myself that I should be able to get sober on my own. And every time I would try, I would fail. Because I tried for so long to do it on my own. Hey, that's what, I thought that I was too good to get help, right? I thought I was self-sufficient and I could get this all together on my own. And you know how prideful I was? I tried over and over and over again. 5 rehabs later, 1 prison stay later, and I'm still bam, bam, hitting my head against the wall, trying to get sober on my own. When my son got taken away, it finally opened my eyes. I needed help. And I had to get help, because if I didn't, I was going to lose my son forever. Now we're going to go down to the 3rd paragraph, okay? The 12 steps are positive tools that make our recovery possible. Our primary purpose is to stay clean and carry the message to the addict who still suffers. That is why I share my story. Because if there wasn't people like me and you, other people who share their story, then how would people come to recovery? They would not think it was possible, because they wouldn't hear anybody sharing their story and saying, hey, look, I did it, so can you. That's how I found recovery, because somebody else was saying, hey, look, I did it, so can you. That's what helped me find my way. We are united by our common problem of addiction. By meeting, talking, and helping other addicts, we are able to stay clean. Okay? And then we're going to go down to the next paragraph. This first-hand experience in all phases of illness and recovery is of unparalleled therapeutic value. We are here to share freely with any addict who wants to recover. Our message of recovery is based on experience. Before coming to the fellowship, we exhausted ourselves by trying to use successfully and wondering what was wrong with us, trying to use every combination and not have negative consequences. Because all of us started out getting high and it was just fun, right? Like, I didn't start out getting DWIs and going to prison. It gradually progressed to that, you guys. It took time for me to get to that point where my whole life was in shambles, right? It started out as me kicking it, partying. I was a teenager, right? And my disease progressed worse and worse until I was crashing my car, overdosing, going to prison, 6 treatment centers. You know, like, that's how the disease of addiction is. It progresses, right? It gets worse, never better. What do I always tell you guys? You cannot turn back into a cucumber after you're a pickle, right? Once you're a pickle, you're a pickle. We're not going back to cucumber status. Y'all ever heard that? They say that a lot in treatment centers. That's how I heard it. Once you're pickled, once you're an addict, you're always going to be an addict. And you're never going to be able to go back to using successfully. Okay? So get that thought out of your mind. You can't get high no more. That's it. Throw those reservations out the window. Okay? All right. Hold on. One more thing. Okay. One more thing, Candy. In their experience, freely shared, we found hope for ourselves. Okay? The only requirement for a membership is a desire to stop. We have seen the program work for any addict who honestly and sincerely wants to stop. We do not have to be clean when we get here. That's it. And I want to read that to you guys, and I really emphasize that part. Any addict can go to a Narcotics Anonymous meeting, and you do not have to be sober when you walk into the rooms, okay? All right? Anyone is welcome. So that's why when I hear people that come on and they try to, like, use the program to bully me and shit, I'm just like, you're totally missing the concept of why the program even exists. And I'm honest, and I'm open-minded, and I'm willing, and I know what I got going on over here, you know? And I would never, ever make someone feel that way about themselves when they're trying to change their life and do better. That's why I want you guys to know that Real Talk Recovery, even when I get off Suboxone, will always be an all-inclusive platform for addicts to come here and support each other. And it doesn't matter what method of recovery you're using. I will always keep it like that because it means so much to me. So much to me. I don't ever want to alienate anybody, because when we do that to other people, you guys, I know for me, it made me feel worthless. It made me feel like, okay, I've never fit in when I was younger. So now I don't fit in because I'm on Suboxone. Now I'm not even good enough to be in the recovery community. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, come on now, man. So we don't roll like that over here. But anyway, I could go on a whole tangent about that. But I have so much respect for you. Please don't let anyone change or question what you're doing. Hey, Julie Pooley, I've seen you around, girl. I've seen you around. Thanks, Brian. You're such a sweetheart. I love you to death. Really trying hard, you guys, to just keep such a good... I want our channel to just be a positive place where we can come and we can share our shit together, you know? And I promise you guys, like, I feel like I'm fixing to go on a Jaclyn Hill spill. Hey, Lori, I promise you guys, like, I'm always gonna... All right? There's not much that could change about me. And, you know, I lead with my heart, and I truly feel a calling to do what I'm doing on my channel. And that's why I made my channel, because I just want to help other people, you know? Okay, Julie, thanks, girl. I will. It has been just like... It has just been really, you know, a long journey for me, you guys. But I just love being here with you guys. Let me see. Oop. So. Hey, that's what's up. I love you to death. You're such a good friend, Brian. But anyways, I love you guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this stream tonight. I love doing these readings with you guys. And I'll always be here for each and every one of you. Thank you so much for everything y'all do to support me. I will see you guys Tuesday night for our big book study. And don't forget, I will let you guys know, but me and Ro are doing a collaboration tomorrow. And I'll let you guys know when it goes up, okay? Love you guys. See y'all later.